We're happy to welcome you in Moscow.
Thank you very much.
With your new album, and our interviews have already become a tradition, almost, but this time we will have extra participants. They will also ask their questions to you.
Okay.
So, you're about to hit the stage in Moscow in a few minutes, I can say. The start of the tour must be very exciting. So what do you feel?
It's in two ways very exciting. First, because it's this special album that we bring on stage now. This album is certainly an outstanding album in the history of Lacrimosa. And on the other hand, because the first show is always, you never know how the people respond and what's going on stage, if everything is like how I felt it. You know, since I've been writing this album, I think about this moment to bring this album on stage, and now this is the moment. And so this is, of course, very exciting, and I actually can't put it in words, but this is also one reason why we do music, because to go on stage, you never know what happens, and those are feelings that you have inside that you can't describe. Actually, it's something out of this world.
Yeah. So Russia is the first on the list of countries in this tour. Was it your choice, or did the circumstances lay this way?
No, it was my choice, because it's such a long time that we played in Russia. It's actually now 2 years, and so I wanted to start here. And we have so many loyal fans here in Russia, that especially in Moscow and then tomorrow St. Petersburg. So it was my wish to, join this album with people that I know already so long, and with an audience from which I know that they really treasure Lacrimosa, that treasure us, and that they support us, and that's why.
Okay. Many journalists, critics and listeners have agreed in the opinion that Testimonium is the most tragical album in the history of Lacrimosa. It has found a vivid response in the audience. Why, in your opinion, does the album resonate with people's hearts this way?
I most probably think that they realize what I put inside, and this makes me kind of happy, because when I started with Lacrimosa, I was inspired by the Requiem from Mozart. I was inspired by this kind of music where you define the pain, where you let it all out. This is how Lacrimosa started. And this album was created out of the same idea. It's about the grief of those who left us, all those wonderful musicians. And of course, then after the first song, Wenn unsere Helden sterben, it gets very personal. So this is like the circumstances that those musicians died and inspired me to write such music, opened the door for me to again describe my most inner pain and emotions. So actually let's put it this way. If I would have had the possibilities, musically wise and production wise, to make such music as Testimonium already back then, when I started with Lacrimosa, I would have done this album already back then.
Fans of Lacrimosa in Russia live through your every work as if it were a short life. Since the first notice of the album, the information that it is a requiem in memory of those who passed away and talks about death, some people decided that the album would possibly be a sort of finality for Lacrimosa. But having listened to it and gone through the pain, grief and despair, we also had another feeling, humility and expectation of something new. Does one really need to accept the pain and reconcile with it in order to get through it and move on?
Yes, I think so. I mean, of course, many people have different ways of grieving. For some, And I guess for most of the people, it's easier to, you know, put it all under the carpet and not to think or talk about. But I believe it kills you in the long term. It kills the soul. And therefore, I believe that, you know, we in the Gothic scene anyway, we know it actually, because we always carry out our emotions. And many people from outside always think like, oh, they're wearing black, they must be totally depressive. But actually it's not that, it's just that we have this connection to our inner life, and I think that's very important. And therefore, I think, yes, when you grieve, you need to accept the pain, you need to accept the anger. I gotta tell you, I don't want to make lots of words about it, but after this album was recorded and before it came out, I had a tragedy very in my close circle, very, very tough tragedy, and I suddenly found myself exactly in this album, and I realized actually this album became my own therapy. The album that I did and didn't know about this tragedy that would occur, I could use this album for my own therapy, and I realized, yeah, it's really important to grieve, to be angry, to try to focus, and all those things that are on this album.
You have shared the process of creating the album and the details of recording and working with the orchestra in your previous interviews, but how did the musicians who accompany you on the tour take the mood of the album? Was it easy for them?
They were honestly a bit shocked when they listened to the album, and I played it to them. They didn't expect Lacrimosa to go into this direction, but after some time they realized how precious this album is. But of course, it is my story and not theirs, therefore it takes them, I say it takes them still some time. I believe on this tour, I believe they will, after the last concert on this tour, they will tell me how much they could grow into the album. So they are also making a development through with this album. Yeah, as I said, they were a little shocked in the first, but they love my style, so they wanted to be a part of it then on stage.
You said you would perform the whole Requiem on stage. Is there any song you find especially difficult to perform?
Yes, actually, it's the first and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the ninth, and the whole album is really every song is the whole word.
Let's speak about the lyrics of the new album. Did you write the texts simultaneously with the music?
Yes and no. It depends. Some lyrics I had written already, and I wrote the music to it. And sometimes I had a melody and just one word or one sentence, and then I started writing the music, and the lyrics came by writing the music. Of course, it's already important that you know where you're heading to, what direction, what you want to speak about. But the final words sometimes then came while writing, even sometimes while recording. You know, I have some kind of melody, for example, and then I want to figure out if the singing melody I have in my head, if it works. So I put out some words, and those sometimes come out of the unconsciousness, and I realize, oh, because I always record everything I do, and I listen to it and I couldn't have been saying it better. It's like that, I keep it like this.
Mm-hmm. That's a difficult question. You always react to the events in the society. You are always worried about moral and ethical problems of our society. The topic appears in Weltbrand again. So do you think we may expect positive changes in the future? What should we do for that?
As a romantic person, yes, I do believe things will change for good. They will change in a better way, they will lead us to a better future. As a political person or a child of our times, I say there is no chance, because it's getting worse and worse. People get elected who should be rather in some people who should be cared about and not should have any power. It's democracy became some kind of a game for a few and not only anymore for the whole society to participate. As long, and this is also one sentence of the song, as long as money rules the people, people can't rule this world. So I think that's the problem. Look at the health system, for example. I mean, health system was invented that everybody is, when you get sick, has some kind of a security that he gets hospitalized. Nowadays, the hospitals are companies that try to earn money. The doctors and everybody's trying to earn money, and it's not about anymore to make the people healthy. This is where it all starts, and yeah. So I still have hope, but this is actually only the romantic part of my person.
How did you like the reaction of the audience to your new album?
I read not much, to be honest, because I realized that when you can hear 100 people saying thumbs up, and one person says something where you realize, oh, he didn't understand it, and then you are in the need to explain, because you think like, if he would understand, then he would maybe change his opinion, and it could make you crazy, thoughts like that. So I stopped many years ago to really read a lot, you know, after all, it also wouldn't do any change, because I'm so happy with this album, and I wouldn't do anything different anyway. But so far, I heard what I heard then when people talk to me are good things, but on the other hand, you know, you never know, because people, they are often not honest to me. I realized now, after releasing Testimonium, many people came up to me, the same people, they might have forgotten that they talked already about it with me, said, oh, it's really great, this new album, because I didn't like the previous one so much. But 2 years ago they came to me and said, wow, it's so great, this album. So obviously they are not honest to me, maybe afraid that I dislike them then or whatever. So I don't know anymore if I can take somebody honest if he comes up to me and says it's a great album, or if this person just says it, that I say, wow, you're a cool person, whatever. On the other hand, some always, that's a German way, many Germans think that way when they criticize, when they say like, isn't this, you could have done better, you know, it's good what you do, but you could have done it better. There's a very German way to tell actually, it's good, you're okay, but I know it, I'm a bit above you, you know, but it's okay. And then they expect that you take them very serious. This is what I hate absolutely. It's then rather the people are like, oh great, rather like this then. But of course, yeah. No, I mean, I will see it tonight. I will see it tonight. So that's actually what counts.
Yeah. This time you have only 2 shows in Russia, in Moscow and St. Petersburg. Is it possible that you will come next year, say, with more cities on the list?
I would love so, yeah. You know, it's always difficult in such a long tour. For example, last time we played more concerts in Russia, therefore we played less concerts in Mexico. So we always try to, you know, be there where we weren't for a long time. Now this time it's more Mexico again and a bit less Russia. So there will be more Russia again in the future.
Is there any special place that you would have liked to visit but haven't yet?
Australia we never played. That would interest me.
Новая Зеландия? New Zealand?
For example, great. They have great.
Greenland.
Yeah. There are many places. I would like to Scotland.
Yeah.
You see?
If they have another president, maybe then.
The tour ends almost on the eve of Christmas and New Year holidays. Do you already have plans for the holidays this year?
No, I just thought and planned everything until the end of the tour, and then I will see what happens.
Okay.
Песня может всех в туре, что вообще?
Julie would like to know the Zwischen alle Stube song. What is it about?
It's about when you're between all chairs. Well, it's between in a process of grieving, you have certain steps actually. There's the shock, then there's the pain, then there's the self-assuredness. And all those different. And that's when you between there, you don't know, you can't feel anything anymore. That's also why the song is, like this. Actually, you don't have anything to hold on anymore. You don't feel pain. You don't feel yourself anymore. You're between everything, and nothing seems real for you.